now down in the corner because once again.
Okay, so SSR Bond Nunchaku Physical Attacker. So he's a physical DPS, a Earth DPS, and a Darkness Burst. He's the first Darkness Burst in the game. How is... Okay. How is Darkness Burst gonna work? That's cool. Oh my god, look at him. Oh my god, I know. He's so handsome. Oh my god, he's so handsome. Oh, look, there's even like a little star right here. He's shining. He's shining bright like my diamond that he is. Oh my god. Nunchuk Greatsword Gauntlets, so we already knew that. Earth Greatsword, kind of weird, but whatever. I expected him to be Wind because of Elaine, but I guess Elaine is also Earth, so you can still make a Bond and Elaine team. Okay. Nunchaku Bond is a physical single target DPS. Cool. Who attacks with consecutive fast strikes for big damage. Did they not want to tell us what his gluttonous was going to be or show it? Is that why we have just Black Flame across the board? His specialty is that he can absorb other elemental attack damage into boosting his own damage? Elemental attack isn't that great of a stat to begin with, but if he could just stack it with other elements and it doesn't matter, it might be kinda crazy.
They give us a little bit of a heads up, so I was able to put a bit more effort in towards the video. Guys, on the left, it's all edited. It's not real. It's just me, right? But
Okay.
you can see we've gotten his confirmed typings, that being a physical DPS character, a Earth DPS character, and one that definitely surprised me and might be surprising you lot as well, and that is a Darkness Burst character. How does that make sense? Well, they're going to explain it in a second, but this is his main weapon. It's going to be his nunchuck.
Ooh, my camera's actually covering it. Hold on. Make it just a little bit smaller. There you go. You guys can see. Darkness Burst.
Which should be also getting a gluttonous, weapon, which means it's going to be the main DPS build. It's Bond with the nunchucks. Of course, this is what you expect. But yeah, this is the description we have been given. Nunchuck Bond is a physical single target DPS who attacks with consecutive fast strikes for big DPS.
I wonder if that means the consecutive fast strikes if he's going to be a normal attack character.
His specialty is that he can absorb other elemental attacks into his own, boost his own damage. This is, to be fair, kind of crazy. I mean, to be fair, this is a massive power creep. Literally, we saw with, obviously, Darieri in...
Yeah, again, elemental attack isn't really the greatest stat. So I'm not... Yeah, it depends how he uses it, and if maybe he amps himself with it, like he has some kind of multiplier that goes with the elemental attack. Like, elemental attack is just not a great stat.
Grand Cross. She released right before the first ever festival, that being Los Remedios, and we're already getting that here too. In fact, they're actually calling it a festival, so I wonder if it's going to be anything different in terms of
I hope there's some kind of multiplier that goes with it, like he takes elemental attack, he like increases it by some percentage.
Are going to come some big broken characters, and yeah, I mean, I'm just reading this right now. The possibilities are absolutely crazy. He takes advantage of like Clotho's abilities, all the buffs from every other character. He's literally going to be taken and absorbed into his own, so he does all...
It just says elemental attack damage. It doesn't say that he takes advantage of everything. If he takes advantage of everything, that'd be crazy. That'd be insane. But it's just elemental attack, right? He still wouldn't get, like, for example, Fire Merlin, right? Like her fire damage, like crit damage and health and stuff like that. And ult damage too, that she gives when she ults. Like, he wouldn't get that because that's not elemental attack. That's still only for fire DPS. So again, maybe he does. Maybe it's just worded weirdly, right? Maybe this elemental attack damage really means everything. Like he's affected by all the elements, as if he was that element. Doubt it. That seems like he would word it differently if that's what you wanted to convey. I think it's just elemental attack damage. Like Derriere on her passive gets fire attack, so he would convert that fire attack to physical. It's not the greatest stat, but again, to be
DPS. So while yes,
to be determined.
DPS character,
I'm not gonna lie. If it's just elemental attack, that's kinda dog shit. Not gonna lie. Like already, my hopes are of Bond. Not gonna lie. Just off this alone. Elemental attack, not a good stat. Also, why is my hair like? There we go. It's like coming up. Yeah. So already physical bond. If this is his gimmick, aggressive earth element attacker who has the ability to restore his health during combat. Cool. Using his ultimate move empowers him for a short time, greatly reducing his skill cooldowns. Oh, we have the first install ultimate. That's not Gila, because nobody cares about her. This is an actual install that, like, I wonder if also on top of reducing his cooldowns, he gains new skills. That'd be cool. I guess Clotho is technically also an install, but I don't really count Clotho.
We're gearing up towards a Earth DPS character, and to be fair, could have even been an Earth support if they really want to support Diane. But
she just kind of holds M1.
Full Earth team, you got the burst for Elizabeth, you got the healer for obviously Diane, and you got the buffs from Elaine. It was pretty much a given, right? The Earth team has been set up to be a King and Diane / Elaine Bond type family. So honestly, I didn't really think about it, but we can probably likely expect Lancelot to be an Earth character if they keep towards that family being, or the family tree all being Earth characters. But yeah, he is going to be an Earth DPS character that says aggressive Earth elemental attacker who has the ability to restore health during combat. So at that point, actually, you don't even need your actual healer.
I wonder if aggressive means that he's gonna have a lot of like immune to reaction stuff in his kit, because that would be dope. Also, I'm going to tilt. The thing about the Lich Dragon weapons versus Black Flame is I actually do really I do think that they released the Lich Dragon weapons for Bond, because from his ultimate, from reading it, right, his ultimate move empowers him for a short time. It sounds like it's going to be one of those ultimates like Derriere ultimate that like doesn't have any combo ults. So because it doesn't have any combo ults, you can't pop burst as that character. I mean, you can, but that requires like doing weird shenanigans that we haven't really done in a long time, right? There's like early game stuff where like with like Holy Escanor to like pop his to pop Black Flame on him, you had to like put a burst to like 90% and then tag in Escanor, and then Escanor would pop the burst, right? Like you could probably do something like that with Bond, but that's just not optimal, or like you don't really want to do that. It's just awkward gameplay. So it seems like his ult is going to be something that can't utilize Black Flame because he's not going to have a combo ult like other characters. So they release Lich Dragon so people can start getting Lich Dragon, so that when he comes out, people have this and they can have this and use it instead of, you know, using Black Flame and just for the 48% crit damage and not being able to utilize the passive like at all. It's the same thing for like, let's say like if Derriere, like if her Gauntlets was like her second spec for whatever reason, and she didn't have her Gluttonous, we would just be using like Gluttonous Black Flame, even though we can actually pop the passive on it. We're just gonna be using it for the 48% crit damage. So it looks like that's the problem that they wanted to solve with the Lich Dragon set, was some characters can't combo ult, and even those characters that can't combo ult and can't utilize Black Flame, because the Black Flame like 48% crit damage is so good, like you would still use it anyway. So that's probably what they're going for. I mean, if they wanted to do that though, I don't know why they did special attack damage as a sub roll. It should have been something else, like crit damage or something like that, or elemental damage. Just a flat elemental damage would have been cool.
I did say that with obviously Elizabeth. She is going to be the main healer, but we're going to see it going forward. More characters come out with a bunch of lifesteal abilities, like Barn, for example, and like even Melaskal in the future. She's one that's simply going to be lifestealing too. So we're not going to get a main healer for a minute, but you will have a lot of characters to lifesteal.
How do you know she's going to be lifestealing? I guess she lifestealed in Grand Cross.
And Barn is basically one of them. All right, then we get the big one, because I know...
All right, this is probably this is like the biggest spec, honestly. I think this is the one that everyone's looking forward to. Dark Element Burst Specialist with a debuff that decreases enemy burst resistance for all elements. Can pause the remaining duration of Darkness Burst to keep its duration going longer. We just got tired of Melly being the best character in the game? That's what it was? Melly wasn't on the leaderboard for 2 seasons and we had to do it back. I feel like this is deja vu. I feel like I've said this before. Have I not said this before? Is this the second Melly buff? Escanor's on the Abyss Golem leaderboards. Can't have that. Can't have that. Can't. Has to be Melly. We're releasing a Melly buff once again. They love Melly and hate Escanor. This is crazy. This is the second, and I mean, we all know this is gonna go up with potentials. The only thing I'm not too sure on is like it pauses the duration, but Melly eats duration for his E. I wonder how that's going to interact. Is it just going to not let him eat any of the duration but still get the benefits from his E? Wait, does Darkness build its own burst? I thought Darkness was like holy and physical. Darkness, it is like holy and physical, except holy and physical can build up any burst, whereas Darkness Burst can corrupt any burst that's already activated. So it looks like they're releasing the first Darkness Burst character. He's the first and only Darkness Burst character. Technically, every Darkness character is a burst, because they can corrupt the burst and make it a Darkness Burst. But it sounds like he's going to be a character that can take a boss that has no burst activated whatsoever, and he builds a Darkness Burst just like you would an Ice Burst or a Fire Burst, right? He would just build it normally, just like every other character. That's crazy. That's insane. Like he's the best character in the game, along with Melly. Like if he, I don't think he builds the burst. No, I think he is. He's a Dark Element Burst Specialist. That's what burst characters are. They build burst. So, I mean, it could go one of 2 ways. He might also burst like Wand Gother. But do you need to burst for Melly? Isn't it better for Derry? It is better for Derry, because Melly wants Black Flame. Because Melly wants to pop his Black Flame passive, plus he wants to combo ult. However, it does depend on what he does, like what he gives you in as a trade-off for popping the burst himself, right? Like for instance, Gother, Wand Gother gives the lightning DPS on the team a whole bunch of buffs if he's the one that pops the burst, right? Obviously, those buffs weren't enough, and we still just pop burst normally on Lightning Merlin by just combo ulting. So maybe they used the Gother as like a test of like, okay, if we have a burst character and they give buffs, will that be enough for people to stop using 3 supports and just combo ult and, you know, or switch to this new burst character we just had? Obviously, everybody stayed with the normal teams and we still combo ult. That's the best way to do it. That's the most damage possible. If anything, you use Book Gother and ult on Book Gother and freeze them and then do your combo ult. So now maybe they're like, okay, cool. So it still wasn't enough. So maybe now they're gonna be like, okay, cool. We're gonna like give him even more stuff that's gonna give the DPS, the darkness DPS on the team to help them, you know, so that they don't have to pop the burst. So that could be one. Or this could just be for Darieri. Because Darieri, as of right now, her best team has 0 darkness characters in it. Her best team is basically the lightning running team, but you just put in Darieri. So it's Darieri, but Gother, Lightning Daisy, Holy Liz. And that's the best Darieri team. No darkness characters on it. And you don't burst with her. You just beat the shit out of the boss. That's it. That's all you do. So it's like, maybe this is for Darieri. We don't know yet until we see more details on if he actually bursts or if he just gets more benefits for corrupting a burst. Does that make sense? But like, the reason why I think he's going to be an actual burst character is because if he doesn't actually burst and he just gets more benefits for corrupting an already implemented burst, that would mean you would have 2 burst characters on the team just to make Bond work, which is not going to work. It's just not going to work, right? Like, that means for you to utilize Bond, you would need, like, let's say you wanted Bond on a Darieri team, right? And you're going against Tyrannus, for whatever example, right? That means you would have to have Darieri, Jericho, and Bond on the team just to make Bond work. And you're subbing in Jericho for like Lightning Daisy or Holy Liz. So Bond would have to give more stats and help than Lightning Daisy on top of already being himself subbing in for Book Gother. So he would have to essentially by himself be better than Book Gother and Lightning Daisy, which is just probably not realistic, which is why I think he's going to actually be a burst and burst traditionally like all the other burst characters in the game, because it just doesn't make any sense, right? Like, you can't, there's no world where you're gonna take 2 burst characters into anything. You just combo ult at that point. Does anyone think he has a combo ult with Melee? He probably will. I mean, I don't see why not. I'm gonna get him anyway because just look at him. See, my thing right now is I'm gonna throw a party. I really feel like Bond will be more for Darieri. Probably. But we never know.
This is gonna be cool. Can build burst really fast for the fire team with Bond.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't think so. I think this passive enemy burst resistance for all elements is just a little thing there that they slipped in for Guild Boss. I think it's just a little thing that they slipped in for Guild Boss. That way, because what they're trying to push, I don't know if you guys have noticed, it seems like Netmarble is trying really, really hard to push burst characters being relevant again. Because right now, burst characters are not relevant at all. You use 3 supports and a DPS. 0 burst. Like every single like top tier team does not have a burst character. We just combo ult. And I think Netmarble doesn't like that. And they're trying to make burst characters relevant again, and that's why they released the Spider Raid set, because they wanted burst characters to become relevant. However, the Spider Raid set is bugged and doesn't give the crit damage to your other allies, so it's what the fuck are we doing? So it's like, right? I think this is just for Guild Boss. I think they're trying to make burst characters relevant again. I think Bond is going to burst traditionally, like all the other characters. If he doesn't, this is dead. No one's using this. So like, what are we doing? You're not running 2 burst characters. Like, you're just not.
Your actual.
I don't think they want 2 bursts on a team. Yeah. That's why I don't think it. That's why I don't. That's why I think he's going to actually burst, because like, there's no way they want you to run 2 burst characters. There's just no way, right? Like, that just doesn't make sense. Like, there's no coherent team where you're running like Melly, Jericho, Bond, Liz, I guess, right? Like, Jericho's a dead character at that point. Like, and then Bond would have to basically be better than Lightning Daisy and Gowther at the same time, on top of also applying more value than Black Flame, because now Bond's bursting, not Melly, so Melly isn't going to get Black Flame passive, so he would also have to be better than Black Flame passive for Melly to be missing out on all those stats. So Bond Darkness Burst would have to be better than like 2 characters plus a passive, and I just don't see that happening. I think he's going to actually burst traditionally like other bursts. That's the only way I can see him being like possible to be like a character. If he doesn't burst traditionally and he still has to corrupt a burst in order to do his gimmick, character's dead. Like, this is a dead weapon. Like, nobody's using this weapon. This weapon's gonna be for memes and memes alone, and that's it. Like, nothing else. Like, maybe he like, I don't know, bro. Maybe he does still corrupt stuff, but then it's like you want to combo ult with him, but then it's like you're gonna combo ult with him to then just combo ult with. I don't know, bro. He has to have a combined with Melly, or he's just worse. The problem with he has to have a combined with Melly, right? Is he probably is gonna have a combined with Melly. That's not the issue. The issue is if Bond has a combined ult with Melly, his combined ult has to give more stats than Melly's current combined ult, or it's not worth, on top of also being better than Black Flame passive. Okay? So his combined ult has to be more damage than Melly getting opening, which is 50% more damage on his passive, plus 40% attack, and what is it, 12% crit chance at max? %15 crit chance. So whatever stats Bond gives Melly has to be better than Lightning Daisy, because you're probably gonna take out Lightning Daisy because Derriere is just way too good, right? Derriere is just crazy for Melly. So it has to be better than Lightning Daisy, giving you 30% crit damage, 15% if you're like before, and also reducing crit resistance and crit defense by 15%, both of them, and even more with her engraving, and also giving you 8% crit chance, or 6 or 12 depending on what your engraving is. So it has to be better than all that. So just to replace Daisy, that's just to replace Daisy. So Bond has to give more stats than that just to replace Daisy. Then Bond has whatever his passive or ult or whatever has to give more stats than opening, right? Because it increases Speedmaster damage taken by 50%, which is this is Speedmaster, right? So it has to give more than Speedmaster, plus more than 40% attack and 15% crit chance. Because if Bond pops the burst, Melly doesn't get Black Flame energy. So that's what it has to be. It has to be better than this. It has to be better than this, plus the crit chance, plus the opening, in order to be on the team. That's what Bond is competing with. in order for him to be a Darkness Burst. The other thing is, too, like, you could always just put on a Gluttonous Longsword, which I'm sure most people have, right? But then, like, that team with this combination would have to be better than the current team combination we have, or it's worthless. Like, no one's gonna run it. He's gonna have to combo it with melee, pause burst, and swap to Dairy, then back to melee. Yeah. My ex is so cursed. What's this guy named? Promoves? Promoves? What the fuck is this guy's name? How do you spell it? He's not posting on X anymore because he got nuked. Others are posting and credit him. Oh, so can I just look up like Bon? Jesus Christ. My X is perfect. Bro. I open up X. The first thing I see is this. My algorithm is peak. My algorithm knows exactly what I want to see. Thank God for algorithms. Anyway. Bond skills, here are the icons, the cost of ultimates, and the gameplay for these different weapons. Oh. Promevs. Oh yeah, so he's still at Promevs. I see. Is there no sound? Any sound? So this is nunchucks. Oh my god, look at this ultimate icon. Ooh. Wait. This is gauntlets. Or is this just... Huh? Yeah, this is gauntlets. Why is it showing nunchucks? Yeah, you even see the darkness effects. This is nunchucks. And now he's showing the darkness stuff. Whew, this is so unprofessional. Bro couldn't even get the skills on screen with the according. What is he doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? You're gonna show me the nunchuck skills, but show me Gauntlet Mon? First of all, this shit looks so cool. But second of all, I'm still gonna flame you for this. What are you doing? What are we doing, Asbrahug? That's so cool. Whatever that was. Okay, so nunchucks. Oh my god, bro's doing roundhouse kicks and he did a punching attack. I don't like that. Amazing Luca Grand Cross. What was this? Yo, he holds that with one hand. What a baller. Oh, he's beautiful. Anything else? Here are the icons and costs altered to the gameplay for these different weapons. Bond's Adventure passive adds recipes for improved versions of certain dishes. Adds recipes that provide better effects using the same ingredients as existing dishes. Replacing corresponding existing lower quality dishes. Existing recipes are hidden. Champs obtain an additional cooked dish with each cooking attempt. This does not double the total amount obtained. Yeah, so there's like a percentage chance to gain more, like in Grand Cross. The probability applies to each individual cooking attempt, i.e. if you make 10 dishes, the probability is calculated separately for each one of the 10 attempts. Yeah, so it's like a 50-50 for each one, and then you roll each one. Yeah, or like maybe it's a 30% chance or whatever. After attaining Bond, he is one who does the cooking instead of Tristan, and the effect of his passive is always active. My goat. This is an amazing passive. This is an amazing passive. This is a 10 out of 10 passive. Are you telling me every single time I cook now, I don't have to sit here and look at Tristan making the dish? I can sit here and look at my goat making some food, bro? Are you kidding me, bro? Oh my god. He'll be right here. He'll be right here cooking some food, dude. Ooh. What an amazing passive. What an amazing passive. Are you gonna P10 bond? Me and Drago are gonna P10 bond for sure. Ain't that right, Drago?